Hello, welcome to today's Kusama crypto update video where we're going to talk about Moonriver. We'll take a look at their latest updates. We'll also take a look at Karura's latest updates and more exactly regarding Acala, the Acala treasury, which has been spoken about quite a lot in the community, in the DOTSAMA community to be exact. And then we'll also take a look at the prices. We'll actually take a look at the prices after we check the Moonriver updates, just to kind of give you my thoughts on what's going on here. We do have a bit of a pullback, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. So first of all, let's kick it off here. As we can see here, we've got an event that's going to be happening today. It's a small event, it's just an AMA, right? But it is an event nevertheless. You can register if you are interested. If you follow Moonriver Network on Twitter, you can register. It's due to happen in about 3 hours from the time of me doing this video. So depending on when you're watching this video, it could be that the event already started or has ended. So it's likely that you could see the recording if you go to this website here. Basically, Katie Butler, the head of marketing at PureStake, the company behind Moonbeam and Moonriver, is going to hold this AMA at Houston Blockchain Alliance. So yeah, definitely good, because it's going to be talking more about the ecosystem development, the roadmap, just to find out more what's going on, what are they planning to do, right? Now we've got quite a lot of updates here for Moonriver, and it's not a surprise because there's been so many developments when it comes to Moonriver. I mean, so many DEXs have deployed to it and so many transactions. And actually the network has clogged, right? The blockchain has clogged for a while. The transactions were taking longer to process if you're using the standard GUI and gas to send. But if you're doubling your GUI, which is still super cheap, we're talking about half a cent, then you could get that transaction confirmed. But some people were using the standard, they didn't realize it, that it ended up being like Ethereum there for a while, right? It was just super heavy. And you can see why here, right? So they're basically saying, and this was on the 9th of September, so Moonriver has seen an incredible growth in the first 2 weeks. More than 680,000 Moonriver, which is around 130 million, have been staked. So a lot of people are staking now because the staking rewards, the dividends are really high, and that's definitely something to look forward to, right? Especially when you see the price constantly pumping, because it's doing so well. You want to stake, because if you get in early, assuming that you didn't take part in the crowd loan like a lot of people that are watching this channel, and assuming you bought off the market early, then you could of course be maybe 3x up, right? Because the majority of people had quite a window to get in around $120 to $150. So if they got in around that window, then they're likely on over 2x. So staking makes sense now because they're earning those sweet dividends, which are really high, because they do vary between 25%, 50%, right? It does vary depending on how many people on stake. Remember that it only takes 2 hours to unstake your Moonriver from a collator. It's not like these other networks that we've been speaking about on DOTSAMA, which take like 7 days or 14 days or 3 days. We used to be 3 days, but are now 14 days, etc. Right? So yeah, this is definitely much faster. 2 hours is fair to me. And some people may complain, well, how is that securing the network? Well, it is securing the network because remember, you still have those collators securing the network. So even if some people are on stake, then other people are going to be incentivized to stake because they're going to get bigger APY. It's all about the APY. The APY is constantly changing depending on how many people are on stake, right? So yeah, just to continue on here with the news, we could see that Seascape have deployed and they've seen a humongous growth as well. So that's definitely something bullish. Also, OneChain deployed to Moonriver. So quite a lot of networks are interested in deploying to Moonriver because this is basically the first bridge that you've got between Ethereum and Kusama. So that's why so many projects are eyeing it now. And I'm still shocked that Binance has not listed Moonriver yet, but I do think it's going to come. We're getting a quiet period now, and we're going to take a look at the chart in a moment and we'll talk about that. But anyway, 2 runtime upgrades, 9.3 transactions per block, 266 native ERC20s minted on Moonriver. So that is a lot, like that is a lot that got minted on Moonriver from these native ERC20s, and now people can trade these assets on Moonriver, right? On all these DEXs that have been deployed, because quite a lot of the DEXs have been deployed. So yeah, also Seascape are shocked. They've crossed 2.5 million in total value locked. Okay, that was the mark that they've got hit on Moonriver. They're super ecstatic about the reception on the new Moonbeam network chain. They'll be adding more games to Moonriver over the next few weeks, so keep an eye out. So there's definitely going to be a lot of updates, okay? So that's definitely something to look forward to. The APR is 288%, which is definitely big, but be careful when you are locking up that liquidity on all these different token pairs, because you don't know how it's going to do, right? If something happens to that token that you're locking up liquidity for, then you could end up being rug pulled, you could end up losing your Moonriver. Okay, so just be careful with that. But I'm pretty sure if you've been watching this channel for a while, again, we don't really talk about locking liquidity or liquidity farming on this channel, but if you've been watching it, you've likely learned something about it yourself, and you're likely aware of the risks. So yeah, to me, I'm not doing any liquidity farming. I'm just hodling for now, and I am selling some of the staking, not the staking, but the unlocks when the price is high enough. Like I try to target over 450 personally, just because I want to see if I can get the max out of it while it's still on KuCoin, Kraken, and these other smaller exchanges before it goes to Binance, because I have a strong belief that we're going to see the Binance listing any moment now, because there are just too many projects talking about Moonriver now. And normally when CZ sees this kind of activity and this kind of development and this kind of hype, he tends to just list, right? He'll just surprise you. He'll basically just come out of the blue when you least expect it, perhaps even on a red day, and just say, we are listing Moonriver, and that's when the price is going to explode. So that's why I'm a bit careful when it comes to selling. I don't want to be rushing to sell too early, because I do understand the potential of Moonriver, but at the same time I also want to lock in some profits, right? Because you never know how this market is going to behave and how much longer will this altcoin bull run last. Now, one other thing here is with regards to Derek Hughes, so the CEO of Moonbeam and Moonriver, again the guy behind PureStake. He's gonna go to the annual summit, which is called Mainnet 2021, between the 20th of September and the 22nd of September. So that's very soon. Was that 7 days, exactly a week from today? You can register if you're interested. Apparently, there's going to be over 150 speakers and a fantastic agenda as well. So you can register on this link here. But there's definitely some good things when it comes to this, right? Because with these events, that's where you're spreading the word. That's where more companies or people are hearing about you, because remember, you've got 150 speakers. Now, a lot of these speakers are obviously from different communities, right? Some of them may be from Solana, perhaps from other ecosystems, right? Maybe Avalanche, maybe Cardano, and all these people that haven't heard of Moonriver are going to be presented Moonriver and what it's got to bring to the table. So there's definitely some good when it comes to going up to these events, speaking at these events, and presenting your product, because that's when developers are going to be attracted, and even investors, not necessarily developers. So there's definitely a lot of good when it comes to that. So yeah, AnySwap is another DEX which has been deployed. This is from the 10th of September. So the first week on their first week of their bridge to Moonriver, and they've already got $40 million locked in liquidity. So it's definitely growing fast, of course. And then at this one here, Moonriver reached 5,000 plus transactions in the pool. It's been crazy to see such activity on Moonriver, and a challenge to increase the transaction block limit to let them in. So they had to increase the transaction per block limit in order to clear this pool, as you can see here. So it's been congested like crazy. And that's why you had to increase the GUI in order to get that priority in the queue when it came to it, right? So that's it from the news with regards to Moonriver. We'll take a look at those in another video when we get more news, because we are expecting SushiSwap to go live any day now. They've already integrated, and when SushiSwap go live, then that's going to be really bullish, because SushiSwap is quite a big DEX now, and the more tokens that they're going to bring to Moonriver, the better. And they are going to do an airdrop as well to Sushi's holders. Apparently they're going to be given like a 1-to-1 ratio on Moonriver network. So it's not that they're giving away Moonriver, it's not that they're taking a snapshot of your Moonriver holdings, so that doesn't actually matter. It's the SushiSwap holdings that they're taking a snapshot of to be able to get that alternative, that mirror image token onto Moonriver. I think this is the idea behind it, right? I haven't looked in depth, by the way, on that, but just what I've been quickly reading from a tweet. Now, with regards to the price, okay, so yeah, we could see that we had a massive run up here from the moment that we listed, right? We had this pump here to 190, which I already thought was pretty big, 194 to be exact. I think it was 199 on Kraken. And then we had this pullback here, which is normal, okay? It's normal to have a pullback after such a run up to around the 120 to 125 region. And then we had another pump here. We tried to retest this one more time. We're struggling. We pulled back once again in the accumulation zone, and then we were just pumping and pumping and pumping with each new integration that we had, all those DEXs releasing, etc., right? And of course the marketing from other content creators, from Twitter, and so on. So yeah, we had this pop here that you could see to 348, which was considered the day's high at the time, and then we had a little bit of a pullback to 265, and then we just had a massive run up once again. 495 here on KuCoin, which is the one that I normally check, but it did go to $510 on Kraken. So in reality, the all-time high for Moonriver is $510, which is a price that I never thought I'd see unless we get the Binance listing, because when I saw this price here, it was already huge, but I thought, okay, well, we're maybe not going to pump that much more until we get that Binance listing. So I was expecting 500, but with Binance, not without it. So seeing the potential here without Binance, it just makes me more bullish personally. And I do think that we could see, unless we're going to pull back, and even if we do, there's going to be a lot of buying pressure here. Remember, we could potentially pull back, first of all, to this area here of 310, because we've got some support here, as you can see, right? This is going to act as solid support. I know that this one acted as a little bit of support here, this high, 348 from the high, which was on the 9th of September. And we had 333, which is quite close. We had this week here today, which was the low. So we could hold quite okay here on the $300 to $310 area. If we are to dump even lower here, if we are to get a week down, if we are to get a long range red candle here, if that does happen, then yeah, we could see this. But I do think this is going to hold because there's going to be some buying power. Now in the worst case scenario that we do go here, we're likely going to touch the moving average, the 30-day moving average, and we're likely going to bounce from this moving average once again to test even higher highs. But this is of course depending on the updates, okay? Assuming that they would be sleeping from now until the candles will reach this area, then we could potentially see a dump, right? But they're not going to be sleeping. We all know that. We've seen Moonriver's marketing. Moonriver's marketing has been top notch. They've been getting a lot of integrations, like I said. SushiSwap is going to announce the go live too, so it's definitely bullish news. And Binance could list at any moment, and when they do, you know what that's going to do to the price. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about here. And oh yeah, one other thing, when Moonriver went to over 450 bucks or 495 bucks here, as you can see on this day, 2 days ago, we actually broke above Kusama's price. So we actually surpassed Kusama at the time. So just imagine, when you participated in this crowd loan, you got 14.5 Moonriver for each one Kusama. And on top of that, we had Moonriver now being worth more than Kusama. So assuming you would have held even the 45% on lock and you would have sold, you would have already gotten a lot more Kusama to be able to contribute to other crowd loans, or just simply get your Kusama back and still have a ton of Moonriver, staking it, generating staking rewards, etc., right? And also the one that you're claiming every single day from the vested ones. So yeah, definitely happy to see Moonriver here. I was just speechless, you know, to see this massive growth. So I'm not too sad about the pullback. It was required here. We needed to have this pullback because it's not healthy to just constantly go like this, because then when we do pull back, it would be a lot more harsh, right? Whereas with this, it's manageable. Like I said, we do have some support here. I'd be more worried if we wouldn't have any support, right? So that's why we need to have some support area, because if we just go in a straight line, it usually dumps, right? Even if a project is solid, it just cannot sustain for too long in a straight line. So it's definitely good to have this kind of movement. And just before we continue on here, I'd like to take a moment to thank today's channel sponsors, BitSwap DEX, for sponsoring this video. So let's watch this short clip and then we'll continue on.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
But next, let's talk about Karura here and Acala. And in fact, not really about Karura because we don't have many updates to talk about here. Aside from this one here, right? They're all talking about Acala. As you can see, they're trying to get the grant. So basically, the Acala treasury here has raised over $61 million from over 26,000 contributors ahead of the launch, of course. And there's actually this article here from Dan Reeser, who is very well known in the DOTSAMA ecosystem and the DOTSAMA community. So Acala successfully completed the Build Acala event, ready for the treasury event, garnering over $61 million in contributions from over 26,000 community members. So there were definitely a lot of people that were interested. Now, personally, I did not contribute to this because I want to contribute to their crowd loan, and they are going to hold that crowd loan, by the way. And then you're just going to have to lock up your DOT for 2 years. But in this case, you would have paid using DOT because they want to use it for the treasury. So as you can see here in this article, they'll be donating that to the on-chain Acala treasury in order to fund future parachain slots in the in the future, basically 2 years time, right? In 2 years time, basically when they're going to win the crowd, assuming they're definitely going to win it, right? But let's just say that assuming that they're going to win, because we're not 100% sure, but if they're going to win the crowd loan on or the parachain auction, sorry, on Polkadot, then they're going to begin the lease, and the lease is going to last for 2 years. So after the 2 years, then they're going to need to extend that lease. So how can they do that? Well, they need to fund themselves. So that's why they need the treasury fund. Okay, the treasury fund is not only used for contributing to the people or paying the people that are contributing in order to tip them, right, because they're contributing to the ecosystem, but also to support future crowd loans. Okay, so this is another way. In this way, what they can do is they could act like whales and just fund themselves rather than rely on the community to receive the funding. But there are other projects that are not doing that. There are projects that are thinking, okay, well, we're going to try and get more crowd loan. We're going to go through more crowd loans in the future, and especially on Kusama. Like on Kusama, quite a lot of them will just want to get more crowd loans in the next year, basically when the lease expires. But in the majority of cases, we may see them self-funding as well. So yeah, with Polkadot, it's going to be a lot of self-funding for sure, because we're talking about 2 years. Now, what do we have here? So they're saying here that this was the two-part network ownership event, which took place on the week of April 12th to August 30th. ACA tokens will be contributed when Acala launches on Polkadot after winning a parachain slot auctions, and token transfers have been enabled. So once again, just so you know, just so you don't ask this question thousands of times, because I have seen people ask this when they had the Telegram group open, but because now it's disabled and it's read-only, you cannot comment there, you need to go to their Discord channel. But I have seen many people asking when can we get the tokens, when can you get the tokens? Well, they have to go through different phases, just like we've seen with Karura on Kusama. They had to go through various phases. It took them a number of weeks, I believe it was 3 to 4 weeks, before they've completed these phases to enable governance and then to enable token transfers, right? Until those phases were complete, you would not get your token transfer. So just because they're winning a parachain auction does not mean that you're going to get the token straight after they're winning it, right? It's not the case. You need to give them time. So it's like that with every single project out there. It was like that with Karura. Like I said, Karura was the fastest. It took like 3 weeks, I believe. Moonriver was quite slow. It took just over 2 months, but it paid off waiting because the pump was just amazing, so nobody's complaining about that anymore. Bifrost seemed to be taking quite as long as well as Moonriver, because it's been a number of months as well, and we're estimating Bifrost the list around the end of September. So we'll have to see if the market holds. If the market holds, if we're still in bull mode for alts, then we could see Bifrost perform really, really well as well. Another DeFi platform, because now they're partnering, as you know, as I've been covering on this channel, they're partnering with the current crowd loan competitors in order to supply LKSM, which is the liquid version of KSM, to contributors, to those who want to contribute to the crowd loans. So yeah, Bifrost is trying to build those partnerships, trying to build those bridges. So it's definitely in their favor, because this could mean that there's going to be more demand for BNC, for the BNC token. Now, one of the downsides to the BNC token is, of course, that there's going to be an unlock from VCs and from seed investors. Okay, and private investors too. There's going to be a small unlock at TGE, and I believe I've calculated that in my Bifrost prediction video, where I said it was like around 4.8 million, I believe, or 4.7 million tokens that are going to be in circulation. So definitely a lot more than Moonriver. And remember, these guys can sell on you straight away, because they got in very, very cheap. They got in at a very low price. So there's that risk too. But again, remember, there's going to be a lot of hype because it's a new token. Once again, from the parachains, it's the 5th one. And when they do list on Karura and on Kraken and on KuCoin, we could likely see a nice price pop. But it depends what else might happen, right? So yeah, they're basically just saying here what they're going to do with the funding. So they're going to be self-funding as a parachain slot on Polkadot, bootstrap and liquidity for dApps built on Acala network, platform and protocol operations and improvements, network security operations and enhancements, software and tool development, community marketing and event funding, and any other future community Acala treasury proposal. So that's it from today's video. I just wanted to quickly cover this. I'd like to thank you for watching. As always, drop me a comment below if you have any questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.